I am Paul Gavin, and this is Teach Your Drummer. I want to help you, the band director, be a more effective educator for your jazz drummer in your jazz band class. So this question handles a full rhythm section question as opposed to just drummers, which is totally fine. If you have questions that deal with your entire rhythm section, I want to answer those too. So feel free to ask me those. So this person asks, how do I develop my rhythm section besides just listening? What can I say to my rhythm section as a non-rhythm player? So first, I hear you on the listening part, and you want to do more than that, but really listening is the most important thing that you can get your rhythm section to do. Because jazz is a heard language. Jazz was originally created by people simply playing music together. It's not like the orchestral or choral tradition where people learn their music by reading. It's a heard language. So it's so important that you train your rhythm section players to do a lot of listening. And this also is not just a rhythm section thing. I think every single musician needs to really focus on listening if they want to be a successful jazz musician. If I were a jazz band director, what I would do is I would start every single class and end every single class with a recording. So I would have John Coltrane playing on the speakers as my students walk into the class. And then we listen to 2 minutes of that, then we turn it off, and then we talk about what did we hear. How did it sound with the rhythm section? Was the bass and the drummer locked in together? What about the articulations with the horn players when they were playing together? What kind of rhythms was the piano player playing? Those kinds of questions are going to train your musicians to start to hear the music as it's meant to be heard with all of those details. And then when they hear the music as it's meant to be heard, they're going to be able to execute it as it's meant to be heard. And we want what we're talking about to be a discussion in the class. We don't want it to be you just articulating to the students. Because if that's all they get, then what they'll learn from that is that they can trust you to tell them everything. And what you want to train your musicians to do instead is to start thinking independently for themselves. So for the swing style, I recommend Blue Train, which is an album that John Coltrane did. It's one of the most important albums in jazz, and I love it so much. Especially the title tune, Blue Train, changes my life every single time I listen to it. No exaggeration. So listening to the album Blue Train is going to train your rhythm section to really get an idea of what a good jazz rhythm section sounds like. But also, I think you should listen to Blue Train as much as possible to train your ears to be able to hear what a good rhythm section sounds like. If the only rhythm section you're hearing is your rhythm section in your band class and you're asking this question, then you might not have a good idea yourself about what a rhythm section is supposed to sound like. So this is an awesome opportunity checking out this album to get your ears to figure out exactly what a great rhythm section sounds like. So as each musician goes, the drummer should hear very consistent quarter note pulse in that ride cymbal and a nice tight clear hi-hat. And the bass player should hear really clear quarter notes, very even quarter notes that are long and flowing, not dun dun dun, but doom boom boom boom. They should hear those long notes going on. The piano player should hear exactly what kind of rhythms the piano player is playing. So lots of offbeats, not a lot of things on count one. So we're leaving lots of space so that we're supporting the soloist or supporting the melody, but at the same time we're hearing those chord qualities to give us context for the melody that we're hearing. One of the things I love talking about is when you have a drummer and a bass player really hooked up. And the way I describe that is when I'm playing the ride cymbal, it should feel like I'm playing the bass player's notes too. So at the same time that we get a ding, 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 we get a doom, boom, boom at the same time. And when those happen at the exact same time, the bass player feels like he's playing my ride cymbal. And I feel like I'm playing the bass player's notes. That's a locked in rhythm section as far as swing goes. I think every single rhythm section musician should have a favorite player. So mine on jazz and drums is Philly Joe Jones, easily. No one even comes close. I feel like he's the guy. And so he's my favorite, so I get my inspiration from him. Your bass player, your piano player, your guitar player, and I think all of your horn players, your entire band should have favorite musicians. And what that's going to do is it's going to encourage curiosity. You can always ask them, what's the last Clifford Brown record you listened to? What's the last Ron Carter album you listened to? And by the way, you get extra points if you learn what their favorite musicians are and make use of that to inspire them to keep being curious. The most important thing is give attention to your rhythm section. It is far too often that I see that as long as the piano player is playing the right notes and the bass player is playing the right notes and the drummer isn't rushing or dragging, then we're fine and we can focus on the horn players. But then your rhythm section players miss out on getting a music education. They miss out on so much opportunity to learn from you. So it's very important that you give them the attention that you give the horn players as well. You should know the things that are in your score that are written for their parts. And you should know them well enough to not hear them when they don't happen and point them out. or know when the rhythm is not being played exactly correctly, or when they're not playing the rhythm at all. You want to know that kind of thing so that you can help them play their parts better. And that's going to ensure that they get a good music education from you. You ask the questions and I will answer them. I am Paul Gavin, and this is Teach Your Drummer.